contest is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, from Salt Lake City, Utah, weighing in at 195 pounds, Josh Prohibition!
Josh Prohibition, John, has made quite a name for himself the last several months here in Combat Zone Wrestling. Last month we saw him as part of that four-way matchup go down toe-to-toe with Nick Berk as the final two in that contest. Nick Berk, of course, the winner of that matchup. Josh Prohibition scored the upset back at No Excuses, defeating Dog 20. Josh Prohibition has been on a tear.
And Eric, tonight, he's going to debut his new move, the Path of Resistance, Daddy.
And introducing his opponent from the great state of Texas, weighing in at 199 1/2 pounds, Nick Berk!
John, Nick Berk, you want to talk about wrestlers in our locker room looking towards the cage of death for Nick Berk has to be one of them. Last year's cage of death saw Nick Berk walk into the arena as the Iron Man champion. He was in the semi-main event last year. He loved it. He tasted it. He knows what it's like to be on the big match on the big scale, and he wants to one more time December 14th.
That's right, Eric. This CZW arena is jam-packed, and Nick Berk cannot be looking past Josh Prohibition and looking on to Cage of Death 4. Take one step at a time. If he doesn't, it's over.
Absolutely not, John. We talk about on BQTV about the established wrestlers in Combat Zone Wrestling and our newer wrestlers that have come into the company and chomping the heels looking for the spot. That is Josh Prohibition. Josh Prohibition is not impressed by Nick Berk. He's not impressed by guys like Trent Acid and Johnny Cash and Justin Gaines. Josh Prohibition wants that spot. Josh Prohibition wants a shot at the title. Josh Prohibition wants the semi-main event. This is not satisfactory to Josh Prohibition.
What a tremendous matchup we should have right here tonight on FAQ TV, Eric. And I gave you one job to do, Gargiulo. Did you do any investigation on what happened to the CZW World Heavyweight title?
John, I have no idea. I have emailed everybody that I know. I have called everybody that I know. I even had to tap a few sources that, quite honestly, John, I never even wanted to talk to again. But nobody had any idea. Nobody knew a thing about it. That is the question that everybody is asking.
I have no idea what happened to it.
John, this match could go one of several ways. We could see a technical wrestling contest like what we are seeing right now for the next 10, 15, 20 minutes. We could see a submission match between Josh Prohibition and Nick Berk. Both wrestlers are very accomplished in the art of submission. We could also see a high-flying matchup. Nick Berk is a former challenger of the junior heavyweight division. Nick Berk can get in there and compete with all the best in the junior heavyweights. Josh Prohibition, we've already seen him beat Dog 20, who is ranked as the top contender here in the junior heavyweight division. It could go any way.
And Eric, Josh Prohibition has guaranteed me that Nick Berk will not get up from the Path of Resistance.
This is what he was telling me earlier as well, John. He said that nobody has ever survived the Path of Resistance. He said everybody tapped.
So I asked him what it was, and he told me that we'll know it when he does it, Daddy.
I think he may have been going for it right there. It is a combination. I know what it is. It's a combination full Nelson, and he wrenches his opponent's neck back. It just hurts, John. He just stretches his opponent's neck in about 15 different directions.
I gave Josh a couple tips about Nick Berk. I said, whatever you do not want to wrestle Nick Berk because he'll beat you.
What do you know about giving tips to anybody? The only tips you should be giving out are the $5 to your waitresses if you get them partying in Atlantic City.
You don't know nothing about partying, ACR. You just find that belt, that championship belt. Justice Payne's looking for it.
Nick Berk with the sky-high face buster. And again, John, this is the kind of contest we're going to see. Back and forth, back and forth. Two very evenly matched wrestlers. The youngster, the new star in Josh Prohibition challenging Nick Berk. Nick Berk doesn't have a belt here, but he is challenging Nick Berk for that position in the company.
And Eric, it is Cage of Death season. Tickets are on sale for the biggest event in the history of CZW. You gotta get your tickets now, or chances are you ain't getting them.
John, you have to get your tickets now. Remember last year, there were lines around the corner. The state police were called in to clear the streets.
They were out there in riot gear.
I'm telling you what, John, it was chaos last year outside of this building. Collar and elbow tie-up. Josh Prohibition goes right to the back of the neck of Nick Berk, maybe softening him up for that path of resistance. Snapmares him over, and that's exactly what he's doing, John. Softening him up. Snaps the head of Nick Berk.
He's got to stay on the neck. He's working on it. He goes right for a cover. Smart move there. Did not grapevine the leg.
Josh Prohibition may have to go through M-Dog 20 in order to earn an opportunity at current junior heavyweight champion Trent Acid, but you know what? Josh Prohibition does not care because he already holds one victory over M-Dog 20.
I mean, Eric, this is one sign of a future up-and-coming superstar right there. You pick one body part and you stay on it.
Absolutely. Josh Prohibition is another guy, John, that felt slighted at this past year's Best of the Best 2002. Josh Prohibition is already preparing for Best of the Best 2003, just a few months away.
And Eric, right now it's not looking good for Nick Berk. Maybe he came into this matchup on Fake You TV underestimating Josh Prohibition.
Well, Nick Berk is a former world heavyweight champion. Nick Berk is a former Iron Man champion. Josh Prohibition knows that he is a very intelligent young wrestler. He knows his stuff, and exactly that is what Josh Prohibition is doing. He is very well prepared. He has scouted Nick Berk here tonight.
Up and over there. Josh swings with a big right hand and misses. Nick Berk knocks him off the apron.
And that impact drove the jaw of Josh Prohibition into that guardrail. Nick Berk climbing the top rope. He likes to go for that senton atomico. Senton atomico!
And he nailed him with it! Right on the concrete!
Nick Berk wound up getting a lot of concrete on that move himself. He may have injured his tailbone on that one. Nick Berk may have burst a kidney on that move. John, look out at this audience now. Look at this building. Sold out here tonight for a night of infamy. And this is nothing compared to what this building will look like at Cage of Death 4.
And Eric, you remember what happened 1 year ago at Cage of Death 3? 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't know the exact number, Eric, but they were turned away at the door. And they weren't very happy they didn't get their tickets.
Berk said he's going for the Berk. John, it's going to be a no. Josh Prohibition has done his scouting. Josh Prohibition with the go behind. He spikes him.
Staying on that neck. Smart move there by Josh. Josh Prohibition now rolls over. He's going for a cover.
John,
maybe he's not.
He's going for the path of resistance. He's got the camel clutch instead.
Still working on the neck.
Going for the camel clutch.
Working on the lower back area. Neck of Nick Berk staying right on top of him. Rob Hartog surprisingly in position.
John, the only thing that Josh Prohibition knows about last year's Cage of Death 3 is what he saw on videotape. He wasn't even a part of the festivities last year. He heard about it, he read about it in all of the magazines, on the computer, on the internet, in the newsletters. Josh Prohibition knows exactly how big the Cage of Death is.
And that's what it's all about. The biggest event of all time in CZW history, Cage of Death 4.
Josh Prohibition better not let that fan in the front row get in his head, or that could take him out of his game plan real quick.
Things aren't looking good right here for Nick Berk. I think he underestimated Josh Prohibition.
That could be the case, John. Josh Prohibition very methodical in his approach right now during this matchup. Nick Berk with a couple of right hands. Nick Berk shoots Josh Prohibition in. No, path of resistance. No, Josh Prohibition drops him. One knee.
He's got it in. He's got it cinched in.
No, that's a dragon sleeper, John. It looks
in
like
the middle of the ring.
From this part of our view. A reverse suplex. No, Nick Berk holds on.
Out of desperation, out of nowhere, Nick Berk hits him. Unable to go for a cover. Unable to capitalize.
John, Josh Prohibition has spent the majority of this match softening the neck of Nick Berk for that path of resistance. Nick Berk has not done a lot in preparation to nail a Berk cassette or a Berk driver. That could be the difference.
Nick Berk slowly getting to his feet outside on the apron. Looks like he's signaling for something.
He's feeling it, John. He's
climbing the rope. He's climbing the ropes, Eric.
He's up maybe for that frog splash. We haven't seen him do it in a while. Frog splash at a minute.
He missed.
Josh Prohibition. He's got it. Wait a minute. He's got a crossface stitched in. The Prohibition crossface.
He's got it locked on right in the center of that ring.
And look at him just wrenching back, John, wrenching back on that neck.
Nick Berk fighting with everything he's got to try and make it over and grab one of those ropes, so Josh Prohibition has to break that hold, and he does. He's successful.
His eyes just going into the back of his head. And there is nothing that Nick Berk can do other than grab that rope, and now Josh Prohibition has broke the move. Josh Prohibition letting the fans get in his ear, and that's not a smart move. That is a rookie mistake, John. That's a young man's mistake. Look at those chops. And again, those open-handed chops, those tomahawk-style chops. Nick Berk like a Red Bull.
Ow! Ow!
That's what they call it. Clothesline, hits the ropes. Somersault leg drop.
Oh, textbook somersault leg drop, daddy.
The Red Bull Nick Berk just had an adrenaline rush.
You got about 2 3/4 there. Nick Berk's got to stay on top of Josh Prohibition. He has him right where he wants him, in the middle of the ring.
Nick Berk calling for the Berk cassette, John. He's calling for it. He tried it earlier. Josh Prohibition again gets out of it. That's about suplex. No. Berk again sticks with it.
Uh-oh.
Nick Berk, a crafty veteran here in Combat Zone Wrestling. Josh Prohibition again counters. And again, right to the back of the neck. Nick Berk once again.
Nick Berk's got a counter for every move, Eric.
Wait a minute, Josh Prohibition just countered Nick Berk's move. A bridge. He gets up, he holds on to the Berk cassette. He is obsessed with nailing that Berk cassette.
Bam!
Berk cassette. But John, that took so much out of Nick Berk that Nick Berk has been unable to follow through with a cover.
Nick Berk crawling over slowly. Grapevines the leg. He's got it hooked, Eric. 1, 2. We got it. Bottom foot on the rope there. Great ring awareness there by Josh Prohibition.
Tremendous, John. And those matches with M-Dog 20 will do it to you. Because M-Dog 20 comes at you from all parts of the ring. You need to be aware. Wait a minute. What does Prohibition have in his hand?
Nick Berk's had enough of it.
He's got brass knucks. He's got brass knucks. He just hit him with brass knucks.
No, he didn't, Eric.
What a dirty play.
This must be it. This must be it. The path of resistance. The path of resistance.
He just hit him with brass knucks.
No one gets out of the path of resistance.
He hit him with brass knucks, John. Didn't you see it? Didn't you see him wallop
That should
with
be it.
brass knucks?
Wait, he's giving up. He's giving up.
Give up. That's bogus, John. That's bogus, and you know it. Let go of the hold, Prohibition. Let go of the damn hold. What a punk. What a punk.
Prohibition!
And what a tremendous victory for Josh Prohibition. And he's not done inflicting the pain
Release
on
the
Nick
hold.
Berk.
Release the hold. Release the hold.
Break his neck.
What a punk.
Break his neck.
Oh, and he's got to give him a cross face for good measure. What a tough guy. What a big bullet.